So I come to you today is May 6th of 2024, and I find myself in a position where I am weighing a decision. What has occurred to me while weighing this decision is something that I know I have faced for 15 years and that I will face until I make my exit from this particular place that we call life on earth. And that is being totally blind. There is a perception of blindness that is simply negative. It's just negative. Oftentimes, people fear what they don't understand. Batman, you fear what you don't understand. That saddens me. When I think back on my walk as a blind person since 2009, the things that impact me the most have nothing to do with me. They have to do with perceptions. Disabilities bring with them perceptions. Mental illness, another thing that I fight to manage. CPTSD, depression with psychotic features. So sometimes the experiencing of psychotic episodes have crossed my path. It's been some time. There's always a little bit of it. Ideas of reference, delusions of reference, things that stick from past psychotic episodes I've experienced that in the distant past, decades ago, sent me to the hospital. I've had several hospitalizations over the years, dating from 1990 all the way to 2009. I haven't had a hospitalization since. However, it's very discouraging. So I make this recording and add to my videos on my channel, Blind, Black, Beautiful, to communicate these difficulties because I know I'm not the only one facing them. It's not just about blindness, it's about any disability. I had an experience with the Goodman Theater, a very negative experience where I attempted to take their Generations program, and the person instructing the class refused to make reasonable accommodations to include me in the class, handing me stacks of paper, telling me to take one from the top and hand it to my neighbor, instituting games, inputting games into the class that if you can't see, for me, it was sort of humiliating. Being told stories about that person's particular experience with blindness that put images in my head of how she was in denial and then experiencing after that the repercussions of her lack of understanding while sitting there and remaining dignified but burned. It's like a form of sunburn and then being leaned on with intolerance or compassion fatigue. We live in a society where somehow it has become commonplace to be mean, just for the sake of being mean. We are all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I try very hard to take my own inventory and stall a desire to excuse mean behavior, just mean. You know, sometimes You're having a wonderful morning. You go out, you cross somebody's path, and you say good morning, and they say thank you. The hell you talking about good morning? What do you know? You don't know what you're talking about, and stay out of my business. Now, maybe that person just experienced a death in the family. Maybe they're just unkind. Whatever the case may be, even if you're having the worst time of your life, when you find yourself succumbing to meanness, it's impossible to escape that creepy feeling in your spirit that rises up and says, why did you do that? What's wrong with you? Why are you behaving in that way? We take in so much negative information, and challenges have arisen from the COVID shutdown and the state of mankind is at war. It's like being at war with yourself, not being able to contain the turmoil and then upchucking on the public. So as I go back to what caused me to begin this recording, I have a decision that I have to make, and great apprehension, because in a post-traumatic stress disorder fashion, the challenge becomes not to catastrophize and sabotage the possibility that the good thing can happen. Oftentimes, even leading with that positive attitude, when greeted with the negativity, it's almost like it teaches you a lesson not to be optimistic. I argue that I am forever going to grasp at my desire to remain optimistic in spite of my challenges. I had a very dear friend of mine, Sharon Walker, who passed away last year in March. She used to always say to me, Melinda, we have to find the blessings in our tragedies. She was so right. And I say, you have to push against the tide and understand that it's a fight sometimes to be kind. However, when someone is mean to you, it's the perfect opportunity as you heal yourself from the experience to remind yourself that that's what you look like when you're being mean. So, for anyone that is listening to this, try to check yourself before we wreck ourselves. We're only as strong as our weakest link, and somehow meanness seems to be the special on the menus of the day that needs to be taken off because nobody is ordering it anymore. Peace and hair grease. A good thing that has happened to me today is while making this decision, I reached out to someone who was so receptive and beautiful that I think optimism, right? It's like money in the bank. So I hope that things go well in connection with this very hard decision that I've had to make, and that I will come out on top. Be blessed. Grace and peace to you. Thanks for listening.